Hello everyone, today we are going to start lecture 03 of class 8 mathematics chapter number 7, which is cubes and cube roots. Now in this lecture we are going to talk about cube roots and we are going to talk about the factorization method to calculate cube roots. But before starting this lecture, let me remind you that you have to learn the cubes of natural numbers till 20 because they will make your calculations easy and will save you a lot of time both in your subjective exams and in objective exams, right? So let us start the lecture by talking about that what are cube roots. Now we have already studied that what are cubes. We said that when a number is multiplied by itself 3 times, then we get the cube of that number, right? For example, 2 cube is 8. Now for 2, 8 is its cube. But for 8, what is 2? That is something called cube roots. Okay, so we can define the cube root. We can define the cube root of a number. Cube root of a number x is that number. Cube root of a number x is that number whose cube gives x. Now clearly if you put x equals to 8, then 8 is that number whose if you put x equals to 8, then 2 is that number whose cube is 8, right? So what is 2? 2 will be the cube root, right? So if you write the cube root, so since we represent root with the radical sign, so there is also a sign for cube root. So the cube root of x is denoted. The cube root of x is denoted by the symbol this. So we write 3 at the radical sign, right? So cube root of x is denoted by this symbol which represents cube root. Now if you do not write this 3, it will be considered as a square root. Similarly, if you want to calculate fourth root, that is a number whose power 4 you are given, then you will write 4 over here. Okay, similarly the concept of nth root comes, right? So that we will be going to study in higher classes and in competitions also, right? So if you want some examples on this, then you can write clearly cube root of 3, cube root of 8 is equals to 2. Similarly, if you want another example, let us say 27. Now what is the number whose cube is 27? That you have to calculate. So this symbol actually means, how will you read this this particular symbol? You will read that cube root of 27 or the number whose cube is 27. Both will be 3. Similarly, if you calculate cube root of, let us say not 8, let us say 125. Okay, so 125's cube root is what? 5, because we know that 5 cube equals to 25. You write this because by, let me write the reason also, because 5 cube is equals to 125. Let me tell you an interesting thing over here. Okay, that will again save you a lot of time in calculations and objective exams. If a cube is equals to x, then a is equals to cube root of x. Okay, so what have you done, sir, over here? See, if a cube equals to x, then if you take out this power 3 to the RHS, then it becomes 1 by 3, which is actually x to the power 1 upon 3. Okay, it is similar to the meaning that if you take 2x is equals to y, and if you take 2 on the right hand side, then the multiplication sign becomes division sign. Similarly, this power becomes reciprocal. Okay, so it is acting like a cube, it will act like a to the power 1 by 3, and this is cube root. Okay, so that will save you a lot of time in the competitions. So now let us talk about the method to calculate cube root. Now we know that what is a cube root, and these were so small numbers, and since I have already been asking you to learn the cubes till 20, if you face any kind of perfect cube till 20, you will directly be able to solve it. But what if you get a cube of some 3-digit number, 2-digit number? Then you must have a method to calculate it. Okay, so there is a process required. So we are going to talk about that particular method, and that particular is prime factorization. We have already done it in the square roots. Okay, it is exactly the same. In square roots, the only difference was that we used to make pairs. In cubes, the only difference will be that we are going to make triplets, and we are going to take one factor out of each triplet of same factors. So let us talk about the procedure of calculating cube roots of a perfect cube by prime factorization. One more thing to note over here is this method only works for perfect cube, right? So if someone is asking you to find cube root by prime factorization, he must give you a perfect cube. Okay, so let us talk about the first point. The first step that you are going to do, that is find the prime factors of the given perfect cube, right? So the first step is that find the prime factors of the given perfect cube. So yes, we'll follow that particular diagram to find the prime factorization. Okay, just simply says this diagram, right? So we are going to use this particular factorization diagram to find the prime factors. Then it says that make triplets, right? This says that make triplets or groups of three of similar factors, right? So we should make triplets, that is groups of 3 of the similar factors, and square root we used to make pairs, right? That is 2 factors of similar kind. Then the third step is same. It says that take one factor. It says that take one factor from each triplet. Take one factor from each triplet and multiply them, right? Suppose you have 4 kind of triplets, then you will have 4 factors in total, one factor from each triplet, right? And the fourth and the final step is that the product which you have got in step number 3, the product will be the cube root. The product will be the cube root of the given number. Okay, so that is the prime factorization method. Let me walk you through the steps. Find the prime factors of the given perfect cube. Okay, in those prime factors make triplets of similar factor. Okay, then take one factor from each triplet and multiply them, and you will get the cube root. Let us practically use this method to find the cube root of 4096. Now if you all remember the table, then you must recall that whose cube it is, but let me actually solve it. Okay, so now the first step was we need to find the factors of 4096, right? So let us start by dividing by 2. So it will be 2, 0, 4 and 8, right? Again dividing by 2, it is 1, 0, 2, 4, 1024. Dividing by 2, 10 will be divided by 2, 5 into 10, then 2 into 1 will be 2, 2 into 2. So it will be 512. Then dividing by 2, now it is standard. Okay, this is all the powers of 2. So it will be 2, here it will be 5 and 6, 256. Then dividing by 2 we will get 128. Dividing by 2 we will get 64 and then 32. Then you all know that we are just making half of it. 32, then 16, then 8, then 2, and continuing over here it will be 4, then 2 and then finally 2. So if we try to make triplets over here, it will be like this, and this will be a triplet. Okay, so we can write 4096 is equals to 2 cube, that is these 3 factors, then 2 cube, these 3 factors, then again triplet, and finally this one and these will make again another pair, another triplet, right? So we have got 4 triplet. Now according to the prime factorization method of finding cube roots, we will get that 4096 its cube root would be one factor from each of them. So it will contribute 1, 2 towards the cube root. It will also contribute 1. It will also contribute 1 factor, and this last triplet will also contribute 1 factor. So we will get cube root will be 2 to the power 4, which is none other than 16. You can write over here, since 16 cube is equals to 4096. So I hope that now you understand the value of learning the cubes of natural numbers from 1 to 20. So this was all about the prime factorization method. Let us take one more example to further strengthen the method. Now these questions look very big because it has 6 digits. But you will see that with the help of prime factorization method, it will be solved within minutes, right? So let us find the prime factors. 5, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1. Now obviously the unit digit is 1, so it will not be an even number, so it will not be divisible by 2. So let us divide it by 3 by adding the digits. 5 plus 3 equals to 8, 8 plus 1 equals to 9, 9 plus 4 would be 13, 13 plus 4, 17 plus 1, 18. So sum of digits is 18, which is divisible by 3. Okay, that is a divisibility rule of 3. So that is how I know that yes, it will divide it by 3. So 1, then 2 and 3 will be 23. So 3 into 7 will be 21. Then again 2 into 1, 21, 7. Then 3 into 1 would be 3. Then 14. So 3 into 4 would be 12. Then 7. Right. So in this way you can get this. Now again you have to add the digits 7 plus 7 plus 7, that is 21 plus 4, 25, 26, 27. Again it can be divided by 3 because sum of digits is 27, which is further divisible by 3, right? So it would be 3 into 5 would be 15, then 27. So 3 into 9 would be 27. Then since we have to skip this 1, so we have to put a 0 over it because it is a single digit, it is not divisible, so we have to move to 14. Okay, so it will be 3 into 4 would be 12, then 27, 3 into 9. So it will be 59,000. Suppose if you don't add 0, you can cross check, it will be 5949, whose triple would be something about 17,000, not 1,77,000, right? So that is how you can cross check. Now we will again divide it by 3 because it is clear that the sum of digits is divisible by 3 because 9 plus 9 is equals to 18 plus 9 again 27. So 3 into 1 would be 3, then 3 into 9 would be 27, then 2 into 0, 2 and 0 would be 20, so 3 into 6 would be 18, then 2 and 4, so 3 into 8 would be 24, and 3 into 3 would be 9. Let me again tell you how I am doing it. Since it is 5, so 3 ones are 3 would be less than 5, then we will have remainder 2, right? Let 2 and 9 becomes 29, it do not add, okay? So 29, so now again 3 into 9 would be 27, then again 29 and 27, we will get 2 as a remainder, then 2 and 0 would become 20, 3 into 6, 18, then 2 will be left, so 2 into 4, 24, sorry 2 and 4 would be 24, so 3 into 8, 24, then again 3 into 3 is equals to 9. So that is how we are actually calculating the cube root of 531441. Okay, now let us continue the same fashion. Again 3 into 6 would be 18, so 1 would be left, so 1 and 6 would be 16, so 3 into 5 would be 15. Then again 1 will left, 1 and 8 will be 18, so 3 into 6 will be 18 and 3 into 1 would be 3. Again continue. Now clearly the sum of digits is again 18, so yes, we can continue with 3. So 3 into 2 would be 6, 3 into 1 would be 3, then 26, so 3 into 8, 24, then 7, 2187. Now again 2187 is, we already know it is something of power of 3, so we can continue with 3, it would be 7, 3 into 2 would be 6, 2 into 7, 29. Now again we know 729, when divided by 3 will get 243, again divided by 3 it is got 81, and it is 3 to the power 4, so it is 27. Continuing over here, we will divide 27 by 3, we'll get 9, again divided by 3, we'll get 3, again divided by 3, we'll get 1, right? So in this way, if you try to make pairs, you will get, yes, we are getting 4 triplets, not pairs, 4 triplets. So if you try to write it in the form of prime factors, you will get 531441 is nothing but 3 to the power 3 into 3 to the power 3 into 3 to the power 3 into 3 to the power 3. These are 4 triplets, right? Now according to our prime factorization method, the cube root of 531441 will be what? Yes, one factor would be contributed by each triplet, so it would be 3 over here. Now another 3 would be given by this number. Now another 3 would be given by this number, and another 3 would be given by this number. So cube root would be 3 to the power 4, which is none other than 81. So you can clearly see that is the cube root of 81, or its cube root is 81. Okay, so that was all about the prime factorization method. Now let us talk about this particular question, which actually involves prime factorization, but it is a practical application. Okay, so this question asks that what is an age of a cube whose volume is 91125 meter cube. Obviously it is meter cubes, it is a volume. Now we know that volume of cube is what? Side cube. Okay, so let us take, let the age of cube be x. Since age is length, then it would be meter. So let the age of the cube be x meter. Now we know the volume of the cube. Volume of a cube, volume of a cube is equals to age cube, right? Age into age into age, that is basically it is length into breadth into height, but since in cube length, breadth and height all are equal to the same number, which is the age, so we do age cube. So that is the formula, right? So you must recall it. So it is a volume and it will be age cube meter cube if it is in meter. So we will not write meter cube. Instead, since for the age we don't know the units, so we write age cube cubic units, right? So whatever be the units, its cube will be there. Similarly, we are given as meter cube. So comma volume, according to this formula, volume of a cube of age x meter is equals to x cube meter cube, right? But according to question, comma, that volume, according to the question, volume equals to 91125 meter cube, right? So now since question says 91125 and you say x, so x is actually equals to 91125. Okay, we do not need to equalize this meter cube because since they are already equal, so we have to add the coefficients which are the numerical values. Okay, so we are saying that no, our cube should have the volume x cube, and the question is saying no, it is 91125, and we both are true in our places. So x cube actually is equal to 91125, and since I have already given you the formula, so what will be the x? It will be cube root of 91125. So we just have to calculate the cube root, and again prime factorization method comes to our rescue. So we can calculate. If you want, you can show this calculation within the question, okay, and if you want, you can show it on the rough side, but I will prefer that if it is a subjective question, you should always try to show this particular calculation within the answer, okay, so that the teacher can know that yes, you have done it right. Okay, so 91125. Now obviously 91125 is an odd number, so it will not be divisible by 2. So let us check for 3. So 9 plus 1 10 plus 1 11 plus 2 13 plus 5 18. So yes, the sum of digits is divisible by 3, so it will be 3. See, I'll give you one more trick. Now you already know that this is also perfect cube because according to the question it is not be in decimal, right? So you already know that if 3 is once over here, it has to come 2 more times because it has to form a triplet if it is a perfect cube. So for the next 2 numbers you do not have to check the sum of digits at all, right? So 3 into 3 would be 9. Then again, since we have to skip this 1, we cannot have 3 into 0. Okay, so or you can write like that also, that 3 into 0 equals to 0. Then 1 and 1 would be 11. So 3 into 3 would be again 9. Then 2 and 2 would be 22. So 3 into 7 would be 21. Then 1 and 5 would be 15. So 30375 will be the number. Okay, again you have, without checking you can continue with 3. So 3 into 1 would be 3. 3 into 0 would be 0. 3 into 1 would be 3. 3 into 2 would be 6. And then 1 5. So 3 into 5 would be 15, right? Again dividing by 3 because we know that it has to form a triplet. So 3 into 3 would be 9, 1 and 1 11. So 3 into 3 would be 9, 2 into 22. So 3 into 7 would be 21 and 3 into 5 would be 15, right? Now again if you check the sum, it is again divisible by 3. So you can again go for 3 times division, right? So 3 into 1 would be 3, 3 into 1 would be 3, 3 into 2 would be 6, and then 1 will be left. So 1 and 5 would be 15. So 3 into 5 would be 15. Okay, go one more time. 3 into 3 would be 9. Then 2 into 22. So 3 into 7 would be 21 and 1 and 5 would be 15. Then again 3. So 3 into 1 would be 3, 3 into 2 would be 6 and 3 into 5 would be 15, right? 125. Then again we know it is 5 cubes, so no need to waste any time. You can directly divide them. Okay. Now making the pairs, making the triplets, we are getting this, right? So this implies that x is equals to cube root of 91125 is equals to, we'll take one factor from each of these, 3 into 3 into 5. Okay, we are directly taking one factor, that is how we apply the method, which is equals to 9 into 5, that is 45. So x has come to be 45, so the age of cube, so comma, the age of cube is equals to 45 meter, right? So what is an age of a cube whose volume is 91125 meter cube? Its age is 45 meter. I hope you all got my point. Okay, let us continue with the next question. Now the question is very simple. It looks like complicated, but it is very simple. It simply says that what is the cube root of this. Now, if you know powers and exponents, it would be very easy to solve them. We just have to stick to the fact that we have to take one factor from a triplet, not from a quadruple, not from a pair, but triplet. So we'll just make triplets. Okay. So first of all, please tell us that what is the power and exponents are doing over here. So let me tell you the property. We know that what are we are going to do. We know that a to the power m into a to the power n is equals to a to the power m plus n, right? That is the powers and exponents. That is we are going to use in reverse. Okay, so 4 to the power 12 can be written as 4 to the power 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay, you can write 12 like this. Okay, so you will make this. Now you can clearly see you have made a triplet. Okay, there are 4 factors, but that is a triplet. Okay, so it will continue. It will contribute 1 4. So again we can write. Similarly, 6 to the power 15 and 7 to the power 21 can also be done like this. 4 to the power 12 into 6 to the power 15 into 7 to the power 21 can be written as 4 cube into 4 cube into 4 cube. Similarly, 6 to the power 15 can be written as 6 cube into 6 cube, 6 cube, 6 cube into 6 cube. You can add them since the bases are same. These 5 times 3 will be added to 15. Similarly, it can be written as 7 cube into 7 cube into 7 cube into 7 cube into 7 cube and like this, right? So 7 times this cube root. Now if you find the cube root, so comma, cube root of this would be it is very kind of childish to do like that, but it actually reduces the chances of any error. Now for the cube root, every triplet will contribute one factor, so this will give 1 4, this will give 1, that also give 1 and also give 1, right? Similarly, this triplet will give 6, it will also give 1, this will give 1 1 1. Similarly, you can see, right? So 6 into 6 into 6 into 6, 5 times 6. Similarly, they will contribute 7 times. There are 7 triplets, so each triplet will contribute 1 7. Now again using this property in this time in this way, that bases are same, so power will get added. So 4 to the power 1 we will get 4 to the power 4 into, there are 5 6, so 6 to the power 5, because each have power 1 and there are 5 ones, so we will add them and finally we will get 7 to the power 7. So that is the cube root. Okay, if you can if you want to write them in the form of prime factors only, see, it said the cube root, it does not set prime factors. If you want to do, you can break them into 2 and 3 also, right? So you can do that by using the formula. Let me write one more formula over here. You can use a to the power m to the whole power n is equals to a to the power mn. You can use this formula also, right? So this 4 to the power 4 can be written as 2 to the power 2 into upon to the power 4, right? So you can do like that also, but since the question has not mentioned it, it is not mandatory to do that. So cube root can be like this also. Okay, so if you actually see what we have done, if you see the cube root, you compare these terms, 4 to the power 12 and cube root is 4 to the power 4. We just have applied this formula only. We have done the power 1 by 3, right? So if I have to summarize it, what I will do is, you can clearly oversee here, clearly cube root of 4 to the power 12 is equals to what? I told you that it would be power 1 by 3. Okay, sir. Then using this formula, powers will get multiplied. So 12 will be 1 by 3. So it would be 4 to the power 4. Okay, so you can clearly see that what we have done, right? If I have to write it, I can write it like this. Okay, so this was all about this particular question. Let us move on to the last question of the lecture, which says that prove that if a number is tripled, then its cubes will be 27 times the cube of the given number. Now, it is a very good question. Okay, so you should star mark it. It is very good question. It's simply, but it is very easy also at the same time. See, it says that if a number is tripled, so let us first assume the number. We do not have any number, so let the number be x. Now the question says that if it is tripled, then its cube. So let us see. Okay, which implies that cube of x would be x cube, right? So it is the first thing, it is the cube in this mode. Now the question is cube of the given number, that is why we have find out x cube. Okay, so we have assumed a number, we have done its cube. Now the question says that if the number is tripled first. Okay, also if we triple the x, triple of x is what? Actually 3x. Okay, sir. So 3x, then its cube will be 27 times this cube. Okay, let us see. And cube of triple of x is equals to what? 3x cube. Now using powers and exponents, that would be 3 cube into x cube. Okay, power would get distributed to them, which is 27 x cube. What is the property which I have applied? Since a into b to the whole power m gets distributed towards a to the power m into b to the power m. This dot means multiply, right? So that's what we have used. Now you can clearly see that cube of triple of x is actually 27 times x cube. So we can write from equation 1 and 2, we have proved the question. It says that cube of triple of x is equals to what? 27, right, into what? X cube. What was x cube from equation number 1? See, we are rewriting equation 2. One more, focus on equation 2. Cube of triple of x, yes, equals to 27 x cube. We have written 27. Now x cube we are replacing by equation number 1, which is cube of x. Hence you can generalize this fact, because x is a general number we have taken. That is, if you just have to write it from the question. If a number, that is, if a number is tripled, then if a number is tripled, then its cube will be 27 times the cube of the given number, right? So if a number is tripled, then its cube will be 27 times the cube of the given number. So we can very well verify that. Okay, so this was all about the introduction of cube roots and finding of cube roots using the prime factorization method, which is our favorite method. But you should remember, without studying this, that prime factorization method works only for perfect cubes. Okay, so with this statement, let us end the lecture. Thank you for watching this lecture till end. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.